Fiza Charania asks, would like to know your perspectives on theism and spirituality. I'm not going to tell you my perspective. I'm going to tell you the perspective of one of my greatest childhood idols, Cristiano Ronaldo. And look at him jumping in the air, scoring amazing goals, scoring goals through back heels, doing these crazy things on the football pitch. And then I saw a documentary on him. I was about 11 years old and I had no concept of God or spirituality, of a higher power even. In the documentary, Ronaldo said, as a kid, the one value he stood for was being God-fearing, being aware of a higher power. And that got me thinking that, damn, this is the guy I look up to the most in the entire world. And if he's saying that, maybe there is this concept of God. As I grew up, I got into basketball and MMA. In MMA, this guy called Jon Jones, who was the light heavyweight champion of the world, killer fighter, had this Philippians 4:13 tattoo. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through him who gives me strength. In basketball, LeBron James, the Cristiano Ronaldo of basketball, also has an extremely strong belief in God. Hell, all these basketball stars, superstars, always talk about God. A lot of American athletes point up towards the sky after they've scored a goal, after they scored a touchdown, after they've scored a basket. A lot of American athletes attribute their success to God. Sachin Tendulkar, every time he scored a century, would point up to the sky. Every big athlete in the world has an element of God inside them. Now just let's get some perspective. To become a Virat, a Sachin, a LeBron, a Cristiano, a Jon Jones, you've got to stand out from the crowd. In order to stand out from the crowd, you've got to do a lot of mental conditioning where you've had a lot of thought behind what you do. You've had to fight, you've had to play, you've had to score, you've had to bat, you've had to bowl, so much in your life. And at the end of this whole intense journey, if you're attributing everything to God, I think I believe in God. That was my thinking growing up. But you know what? You only start believing in God once your career starts unfolding in front of you. And if you've got purpose attached to your own career, you look at your purpose as the sport you're playing, and you look at career with a certain underlying sense of God. And that's why I do believe in God. Just like Jon Jones, I've got Philippians 4:13 tattooed on my arm. And I also just want to highlight that in my lowest moments in my career, I don't turn to human beings. I turn to God in my meditations, when I'm praying. It's a huge aspect of everything I do. It's been the biggest anchor for me in my entire career. And honestly, nothing against atheists, but I feel that if you do have a strong sense of God or a strong sense of any higher power above you, it keeps you humble, it keeps you positive, it gives you hope, and above all, it kind of gives more meaning to your journey. If you don't want to call it God and if you don't want to call it a higher power, just call it goodness. Give back to society. If that's the sense you make out of it, if that's your purpose, call that God. Because at the end of the day, God is goodness. But if God is Morgan Freeman or a big guy with a long beard up in the sky who's looking over you and saying, hey, thanks for the support, here's another big bag of money or some more fame, I'm not complaining. So that's my opinion on God.